so I prepare all my questions.
Okay.
It could be better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, the necessary diff of Charlie Countryman is
Yes.
the first movie. But it seems that you have a huge experience as a movie director already. Could you tell us more about your career and experiences? How can you be a first-time filmmaker and make such a good movie at the same time? I have done it. I see it yesterday.
Oh, you did?
It was very fun. I like it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Well, you know, I think I really I think that it's coming from commercials. You get used to spending a lot of time on set. You work with crews and cinematographers and DPs that are just fantastic. So you build a relationship with your crews, and so when I was doing my movie, I wasn't really nervous of the technical side.
Okay.
I think that was a sort of my comfort zone. The new thing for me was to deal with actors.
Yeah, of course.
So I spent a lot of time with my actors and wanted to really make it about their performances, you know. So
Yes.
so that was the natural sort of progression for me from commercials into features.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. What is more complicated, to direct commercials or a movie?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
I think well, everything has its challenges, you know.
Yes.
And but I think of course a feature is much longer. You have to be more of a marathon runner when you have to have much more stamina for a feature
Okay.
than for a commercial. But I think there's a lot of commercials I've made that been
Yes.
very challenging because you're dealing with you know, new technical aspects. You have different types of people, you know. So
Okay.
any creative venture, I think, is a challenge.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What are the main themes that we can find on your commercials, for example, beer, Heineken, Guinness, and others? I see some of your commercials yesterday.
Okay.
To prepare this interview.
Okay.
It was very fun. I like
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
So can you have some particular theme that you like to find in the same commercial, or there is no particular theme that you want that be shown on these commercials?
You know, I think the theme. What would the theme be that I like to? I don't know. I think it's just for me. It's whether I do a movie or whether I do a commercial.
Okay.
For me, the performance of
Yes.
the actors is the most important thing.
Okay.
I think commercials are naturally more visual.
Yes.
But I think that for me, the theme I always try to go for is, you know, some sort of humanity. You know, I want to be.
Okay.
I'm interested in the people. You know?
Good. While I was watching your movie, I thought about transporting true romance, very bad trip. So could you tell us what were your main inspiration for this movie?
You know, any movie. I mean, all the movies that you mentioned there
Yes.
are sort of genre hybrids,
Yes.
where there's a playfulness with genres. You know,
Okay.
so that's really what I loved about the script.
Yes.
Was that it was mixing all these different tones and genres and trying to make it into one world. So I think any movie
Yes.
that sort of had that genre mix has been inspiring me. You know, everything from The World According to Garp to
Yes.
Forrest Gump.
Yes.
You know, of course, True Romance. And Trainspotting and
Yes.
you know, movies like that. So it's not one specific movie. I think it's
Okay.
more the playfulness
Okay.
of the mix of genres.
Okay. What can you tell us about your casting for the movie? How did you succeed to have such a perfect casting for your first movie? Shia LaBeouf, Evan Rachel Wood, Mads Mikkelsen, Rupert Grint, Melissa Theo.
Well, you know, I think everybody just loved the script.
Yes.
Everybody just read the script and was wondering, how this, and it's very, because it's very. I think this script is sort of a rare. The story is a very rare one. The script, with its mix of humor and seriousness,
Yes.
it's a rare one. And I think all the actors were very compelled by their characters, even if they are just brief on the screen. I think they were very compelled about the characters. So I think bottom line is that everybody loved the script basically.
Okay, good. What were the main difficulties that you encountered to direct in Romania for 2 months?
Sorry, what was that?
What were the main difficulties that you encountered, that you met, to direct in Romania for 2 months?
All the wild dogs. Every time I was going back from the shoot to the hotel,
Yes.
I had wild dogs chasing me on my bike. So it was it was always a bit of a nightmare to get back home.
Okay, good.
But and I never got bitten. But just
Yes.
a couple of months before we started to shoot, there was I think it was a Japanese tourist that had been attacked by the loose dogs, by the wild dogs, and killed. So I was very worried about that. That kept resonating in my head.
Wow.
But in the end, it was totally fine. You know, it was more in my head than,
Good.
you know, yeah.
Could you tell us about your collaboration with Moby, who has composed some song for your movie? I don't movie.
Moby started very early in the
Yes.
process. Because I had worked with Moby before.
Yes, 2001. Yes.
And so he came on board very early in the process as we were working on the script, and he started to elaborate on different themes and on different melodies, and so he was a very instrumental part in the beginning of the movie. And then when the movie got shot, and then we started to edit the movie, we realized together with Moby, we realized that we needed a bit, because the story is so vast. It spans in so many
Yes,
different.
that's
So
true.
exactly. So we needed a few different types of tonalities.
Yes, we did, yes.
So that's when we started to talk to Dead Mono and Christophe Beck, and also this young DJ woman called Audrey Napoleon, who submitted some songs into the movie. So we were. So basically, in the end, it became Moby, Christophe Beck, and Dead Mono, and some songs with Audrey Napoleon that was put into the movie.
Okay. Could you tell us more about your collaboration with Hugh Winburn, who won an Oscar for Crash?
Yeah, he's Hughes is an amazing editor. He's very sensitive,
Yes.
and that's what I really wanted with the editor that was going to edit the movie, because it could become a little bit too much of a. I wanted the romance to really shine through. I wanted it to be a sensitive journey, even if it was a wild journey, and even if there's some violence in it. I wanted it to have a bit more a lighter touch and a sort of sexy touch in a way. Okay. So that's why when I looked at Hugh's work and we started to talk about the movie, I just realized that he was perfect for it, and he's a very, very good editor.
Good.
Yeah.
Yesterday your movie.
And he's got very good hair as well. You know, you and me have
Not
thin.
like me.
Yes,
Sorry.
I was very impressed. He's got a lot of good hair. Yeah, and he's he's a little bit older than me, so I was very impressed by that.
Good. Yesterday your movie has been shown and acclaimed 2 times. Was the movie at the end?
Oh yeah.
Before the jury and after the jury 2 times. And what do you think?
What do you mean?
The public asked 2 times. One before the generic and one after. The first movie here that the public applauded, yes, twice.
Oh really?
The movie, yes.
Oh.
All my friends who are also here, I don't know movie.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's a good one.
Great.
For me, I see approximately 25 movies. Your movie is my best.
Oh,
my
thank you.
preferred. It's a good movie.
Thank you.
What do you think about this festival, Deauville, and the French audience?
Well, I think that I mean, first of all, Deauville is I have never been here. I had friends first time. Okay. I had friends that had been here with their films, and they said, "You're gonna love this." So I was kind of coming here. Will I love this? And instantly, it's love at first sight. It's a beautiful sight, and all that. But not only that, I think also it's a very France in general, and especially the Deauville Festival, is a very film-loving festival. You know,
yes,
like myself. You know, I love films, and of any kind. So you know that to me is a very immediate. That struck me immediately. And when you talk to people that are very passionate about films, I like this, I don't like that. Blah, blah, you know, it's great. But also, I've always felt like Charlie Countryman has a little bit of a French vibe in it. You know.
Yes, European.
Yeah, European. And you know, the European movies that we didn't mention there, like some of the movies that really influenced me as a young kid, like
Yes.
Betty Blue and you know Les Amants de Pont-Neuf, Sur mes lèvres, you know, a lot of those movies, French movies.
Yes.
I think I have a special respect for because they have a little bit more of sensualism
Yes.
in stories. So I've always seen my film as a little bit somewhat of a French film, and
Yeah,
I at some point I really wanted to shoot it in Paris, but for natural reasons
Yes.
it couldn't happen because the story needed that Eastern Wild West, the Wild East.
So, in general, what are your favorite movies?
I have so many. Where do you want to start? I love One Flew from the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes.
As I said before, The World According to Garp.
Yeah.
I love these French movies, Sur mes lèvres and The Prophet, and I love Yvonne Natal. And his, my wife is an actress, so I have a lot of, my list is long.
Good.
Yeah.
What are your current projects?
I'm working on something right now,
Yes.
which I'm hopefully going to have ready in half a year or something like that, and hopefully it's we'll get into production whenever it's ready.
What is your most important accomplishment to this date?
My kids,
Yes, of course.
and marrying my wife,
Yes.
and I think I'm very into my movie right now, so I'm very proud about my movie. So that
Yes,
feels
sir.
like my another little baby
Baby,
that I
yes, of course,
exactly.
of course.
And now I have to let it go.
Yes.
Now it's time to let it go.
Good. My last question.
Yeah.
What kind of advice could you give to someone who would like to work as a director, as you?
I think just start shooting and experimenting and film anything that you feel is interesting and close to your heart.
Okay.
I think you should just go for it, and I think that sitting and writing, because I don't write my movies. I don't.
Yes.
So far, I haven't written my movies or this movie, but on the script I'm working on, and on the commercials that I work on, I always write. There's a lot of writing, for me. And also in this process with Charlie Countryman, it was also a lot of writing for me to sort of just sit and understand my thoughts and and so I think writing and go out and doing and shooting and try and edit and
Good.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I take some picture?
Yeah, sure,
my
for
taken?
sure. If I can take of you.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Ready? And then last one. Okay. Can I have a little autograph
Yeah, of course.
on my? Sorry. On my- Sorry.
No worries. What's your name again?
Boris,
Sorry.
please.
Boris.
Boris, yes.
Like Boris.
Vian.
Boris Pecker.
Yes, of course. You like tennis? Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.